Maintaining meaningful connections is essential for a fulfilling life and to ensure success. It is important to be honest and genuine with those around you, show empathy and consideration, and take the time to listen and understand. By taking these simple steps, you can create and maintain relationships that will last. Nurturing and reinforcing your connections with others is a great way to ensure that your relationships will stand the test of time. However, it is important to remember that relationships are not always easy and require dedication and effort. It is important to be mindful of the connections you have and be willing to put in the effort to make them thrive. No matter who you are, relationships are an essential part of life, bringing us joy, comfort, and a sense of belonging. But forming relationships can be a challenge, requiring us to invest time and effort to build a foundation of trust and mutual understanding. To make a relationship strong and successful, we must respect each other, communicate openly, be equal partners, share and have individual interests, understand each other, be honest, show empathy, provide emotional support, and have shared values. When these elements are in place, relationships can be incredibly rewarding and fulfilling. Forming and sustaining strong connections with those we care about is essential for our well-being. Respect for boundaries, reliability, and consent are all key components of any healthy relationship. It is important to remember that silence or passivity does not equate to consent. When we express our affection and support for one another, it can have a profoundly positive effect on both individuals, such as increasing their self-esteem and sense of belonging, providing them with a sense of companionship, and bolstering their confidence. However, it is important to be aware that relationships are complex and require commitment from both sides to be successful. There may be times when it is difficult to maintain a strong bond, but with patience and understanding, we can work together to build and maintain strong connections. In order to foster a strong connection with those we care about, it is essential to carve out time for meaningful conversations and actively listen to one another without interruption. It is important to understand the other person's perspective and articulate our own emotions clearly. Body language can be a powerful tool in conveying emotions, so it is important to be mindful of its impact. Regular communication and attentive listening are essential components for successful communication. However, it is important to remember that relationships are not always perfect and that communication and attentiveness may not always be enough. It is essential to remain patient and compassionate with one another and work together to find a resolution that is satisfactory for both parties. By taking the time to listen and understand each other, we can build strong and lasting relationships. Nurturing meaningful connections with family and friends is essential for our holistic health and happiness. Though no relationship is perfect, there are still ways to make it thrive. Honesty, contrition, affection, and appreciation are all necessary for us to have successful relationships. It is important for us to prioritize our relationships, discover activities that bring us joy, and cultivate our self-confidence. Additionally, we should strategize for the future, cherish shared moments, and honor each other's need for autonomy in order to have flourishing relationships. However, it is important to remember that cultivating relationships requires effort and commitment, and sustaining a strong connection is not always easy. We must be aware that relationships can be unpredictable and that there may be moments when it is difficult to remain connected. It is important to remember that relationships and individuals are constantly changing and evolving. If any form of abuse or violence is present, or if one person is exerting too much power or control, then the relationship is far from healthy and it is probably a good idea to leave. The healing process after the end of a long-term relationship can take up to 3 years, but the amount of time it takes to recover and move forward will vary from person to person. Everyone is unique, and the rate of recovery and progress will differ accordingly. No two relationships are the same, and that's okay. Healthy relationships come in all shapes and sizes, and can be tailored to meet the unique needs of each individual. As your relationship grows and changes, so too should your communication, intimacy, love, autonomy, common interests, and principles. Even if your relationship doesn't fit the traditional definition, it can still be beneficial. Remember, healthy relationships are not a one-size-fits-all solution, and it's important to be aware of the warning signs of an unhealthy relationship. Trust is the foundation of any meaningful relationship. When trust is present, we can be our true selves, knowing that our partner would never do anything to hurt us. To create a strong bond, we must both respect and appreciate each other's individual identity. Trusting each other for support and guidance while still maintaining our own autonomy is essential for a healthy relationship. Building trust is not easy, and requires patience and dedication. We must also remember that trust can be broken, and restoring it is not always simple. Intimacy is more than just a physical act. It is possible to cultivate a strong relationship without it. To ensure a healthy relationship, it is essential to communicate openly, accept rejection gracefully, discuss desires, and feel comfortable expressing interest in varying levels of intimacy. However, it is important to remember that not everyone is comfortable with sex, and that is perfectly okay. Ultimately, it is up to each of us to decide the level of closeness we feel comfortable with in our relationships. Intimacy can be expressed in many forms, from physical touch to emotional support and shared activities. No matter what level of intimacy you choose, it is important to remember that it is a personal decision and should be respected by both partners. Nurturing and sustaining strong relationships can bring immense joy, comfort, and a sense of belonging into our lives. To foster a strong relationship, it is essential to strive for mutual understanding, practice honesty and respect, and prioritize the bond. Additionally, trustworthiness, open communication, and shared interests are essential components of a flourishing relationship. It is important to recognize the need for having our own space and time to ourselves. This can help cultivate a relationship in which both parties can maintain their individual identities and autonomy. Nevertheless, it is essential to remember that relationships are not always easy and require a great deal of effort and dedication. It is important to be aware that relationships can be unpredictable and that there may be times when things do not go as planned. We must be willing to put in the work to make our relationships strong and meaningful.